On the news, Right Reverend Ibrahim Marcus reacts to his election as the Archbishop-elect of Jos Province. Supreme Court affirms the election of Ganduje and Tambuwal. GAFCON Chairman Archbishop Foley Beach sends his epiphany letter to the church. Welcome to the news on the hour, brought to you from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria, ACNNTV. I am Rachel Ibunu. Meanwhile, the Archbishop-elect of Jos Province, the Right Reverend Ibrahim Marcus, has reacted to his election as the Archbishop-elect of Jos Province. Speaking with ACNN News correspondent Nzubuchi Frank, he appreciated God while also praying for God's grace and enablement to do more than his predecessors.
By strength, nobody shall prevail. Yes, God is working through us. And he said in John 15 that without me we cannot do anything. So we depend on him to bear fruit that will last for eternity, fruit that will bring growth and development within the body of Christ in our national church. So I look unto him so that he will give us the enabling grace to work effectively, to build on our predecessors in our province, our immediate predecessor, His Grace, the Most Reverend Herun Dukuba, the primate elect, has been my mentor, my teacher for many years, and now I took over his place of leadership. And the Most Reverend Dr. Benjamin Yakwashi, before him, was my lecturer also. So if you look at it, these are great men that serve our church, and as a student to them, as a young boy to them, now grown up to be an archbishop, for me to work on there where they labor for years is not going to be an easy task. But I know with God, as Paul says, that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, I know we'll do it.
The vicar of the All Saints Anglican Church, which says Zone 5 in the Diocese of Abuja Anglican Communion, Venerable Ernest Onoha, has advised Christians who are in various offices or positions to make their callings and election sure. He noted this while speaking to ACNN News correspondent Nzubuchi Frank, where he explained that indulging in the things of the world can distract one from doing what is expected of him and making heaven at last.
It's not easy to live in this world, but we have to live uneasily, depending on the grace of God. Because through that one, when you are elected, when you are called, it's God that elects, it's God that calls people. And whoever he calls, he equips. Whoever he selects, he empowers. He has called us, his son. He has also elected us and given us his grace. His grace must be sufficient for believers for them to make heaven. But as we live in this world and we are distracted by the things of this world, mundane things, then heaven will be a difficult thing.
The Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Abdullahi Ganduje, candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, as the governor of Kano State. Recall that the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Abba Kabir Yusuf, filed an appeal at the Apex Court to dispute the March 2023 supplementary election held in some electoral wards in Kano State. A 7-man panel of justices of the Apex Court, led by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, after listening to arguments by the counsels representing the appellant and the respondents in the suit, fixed today to decide the fate of the appeal in a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Sylvester Nguta. The Apex Court dismissed the appeal filed by Abba Yusuf, challenging the election of Governor Ganduje for lacking in merit. The court held that the appellants failed to prove any case of irregularity in the main election held on March 9th and the supplementary election on March 23rd, 2019. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has dismissed an appeal filed by Ahmed Aliu, challenging the election of Aminu Tambuwal as governor of Sokoto State. The petitioners, Aliu and his party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, alleged non-compliance with the Electoral Act in the conduct of the election. In a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Uwani Abaji, the Apex Court dismissed the appeal on the ground that the appellant failed to prove his allegation of non-compliance with the Electoral Act and issues of overvoting. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Kwara chapter, says the state government has not banned religious activities in public schools. It will be recalled that the Commissioner for Education and Human Capital Development, Mrs. Fatima Ahmed, had issued a statement that no religious organization is permitted to go to public schools for preaching or engaging in any religious activities during the morning assembly, adding that prayers should be said silently on the morning assembly across public schools in the state. But in a statement signed by the Secretary of the Association, Reverend Ruben Ibitoye in Ilori, it was said that the position of the government differs from what was speculated. A former governor of Adamawa State, Senator Mohammed Umaru Jibrila Bindo, commiserates with the family of late Pastor Dennis Bagauri, the bishop and entire membership of Lutheran Church of Christ in Nigeria. Pastor Dennis Bagauri was killed by unknown gunmen at his residence in Mayobelwa. In a statement signed by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Martins Dixon, Senator Bindo prayed for the repose of the soul of late Pastor Dennis Bagauri, who served as his senior special assistant on religious matters, describing him as a man who fears God and always upholds the truth. He called on security agencies in the state to step up their tactics and intelligence gathering, adding that another mindless death will be one too many. And still to come after the break, diocesan bishops of the Scottish Episcopal Church elect Kevin Pearson as new bishop for Glasgow. Please stay with us.
At the King's Court is a program where we worship and praise the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords through various musical renditions. So join me, Eukaria Ozovehe, at the King's Court every Tuesday by 6 p.m. on this station, and it promises to be exciting and rewarding.
You're welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. And to be up to date with our news and other programs, download the VM Africa app for Android from Google Play Store. And on the international scene, the chairman, GAFCON Primates Council, the Most Reverend Dr. Foley Beach, has urged Christians, especially the Anglican faithful, to meditate on the reason for the current season of the church, which is Epiphany, where Jesus is being manifested to the world. Remembering the Magi who came to worship Jesus as the King of Kings, bringing to him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gold, a most precious gift representing nobility and royalty. Frankincense, an expensive, beautiful smelling incense. Myrrh, a costly perfume emphasizing his humanness. Archbishop Foley Beach stated that those offerings to Jesus emphasizes his divinity, humanity, and gifts, honoring his birth and also honoring his death. Archbishop Foley Beach used that opportunity to call on Christians to keep praying and trusting in God, saying that this suffering which accompanied the Epiphany, as it does today, with Christians being kidnapped, the church being persecuted, and biblical truth being relativized with false teaching, Christians must be at the forefront in standing with those who suffer by prayer, practical care, and advocacy. The Right Reverend Kevin Pearson has been elected as the new Bishop of Glasgow and Galloway since the seat of Glasgow and Galloway became vacant in 2018, following the retirement of the Right Reverend Dr. Gregor Duncan, who had served the diocese as bishop for 8 years. Bishop Kevin was elected by the Episcopal Synod, a body comprising the diocesan bishops of the Scottish Episcopal Church, in accordance with the church's canonical process, and he will take up his new post at a service of installation later in the year on a date to be announced in due course. And now to sports story. New head coach of Barcelona, Quique Setien, was pleased with Barcelona's 1-0 victory over Granada in his first game in charge, but wants to see his side be more clinical in front of goal, saying Lionel Messi's 76-minute finish following an outstanding team move which secured 3 points at Camp Nou for Setien, who replaced Ernesto Valverde last Monday. Setien said he thinks it was a good performance, but that maybe they lacked a bit of conviction in the first half, as Granada defended very well, noting that it wasn't easy as Barca had 82.6% of possession, but struggled to break down Granada and hopes there will be improvement in the final third. And that's it on the news on the hour. Thanks for watching. I am Rachel Ibunu.